What is up, family? Dub Souljah here, and welcome back to my vlogs. This is episode number 2, and I am going to be calling this Rebel Eye Media. That is going to be the name for this content. It's going to be posted here on the Dub Souljah YouTube page, but you can follow on Instagram at rebel.i.media. And it's Rebel because Dub Souljah is Rebel. I, Rastafari, but it's also a play on eyes, like the eye of the rebel eye, of course. And then media. I think this is going to be different media and different content than what you get from Dub Souljah, which is music and studio stuff and things like this. But this is going to be a little bit more personal. But at the same time, I also want to, like I said in the first video, do interviews and all that kind of stuff too. And I think this is going to be a really good addition to the reggae scene and the reggae vibes and the people and all that kind of stuff. If you're just joining us, my name is Dub Souljah. I am a singer-songwriter, reggae musician from the Central Coast of California, and I want to take you guys along on my journey so you guys can see what's been going on with us, the band, and all of the good vibes behind the scenes, up front, and kind of a little more candid. So updates for you. Last week, I went to the island of Maui to see Tribal Seeds and Revolution. It was awesome. The trip was great. The flight there was boring as usual, but I got to read. I'm reading Travis Barker's biography right now. Some of you might know Blink-182 was a huge influence on me when I was a kid. Since about 10 years old, they've been my absolute favorite band. I would not be playing music if it was not for that band. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us rock musicians that are around my age, 90s kids, we could probably say the same thing, or we at least have a similar taste in our favorite musicians out there. So yeah, it was a really long ride, but I read a huge chunk of the book, which was awesome. And if you get a chance, read it. It's so good. And yeah, we had a layover in Honolulu, and at that airport there, they have these gardens outside, like it's an outdoor part of the airport that you haven't left the airport yet, but you're outdoors. So there was koi ponds and little waterfalls and little walkways. It was really cool, Chinese architecture and stuff like that. It was really neat. Getting on Maui was great. Our room was awesome. We were right near the water, so sitting on the patio on a warm evening, seeing the sunset, it was beautiful. I went with some friends this time, so we just had a great time, a blast. The room was awesome. It came with a full kitchen and a refrigerator and all that, a TV that already had Netflix and whatnot. So we were kind of set, chilling at the room. We didn't do a lot of stuff that costed a lot of money, like your traditional touristy stuff, snorkeling or parasailing or, anything like that, boat ride or whatever the kind of stuff. We didn't do any of that. We did eat a lot of local food, which was really cool, out of the local restaurants, just to, get a vibe for it. I'm a vegetarian, and another one of us is as well. And the food was awesome. It was amazing. I love everything about all the food there. Every meal was top notch. Nothing was whack. Well, okay. The meal inside of the airport at the Honolulu airport had the salad at the PGA Tour restaurant. Yeah, that wasn't really the best meal. That was probably the worst meal of the whole trip. But everything else, in the island, man, the cooking, the food, it's all good. The flavors, you can tell that they really, really love cooking and they take pride in their food. Also, the people in Hawaii are really friendly and really fun people. You can tell. Everybody had a smile. Everybody we ran into was really nice and friendly. Everybody had an aloha spirit. The rideshare drivers, every time we got a ride, they were nice and open to talking with us about their, experiences living on the island and stuff. About a week before, or a couple of days before we were there was flash floods, but we were going down the road, and it's almost like when it's snowing outside and they plow the road, there was mounds of dirt and mud on the side of the road, that was plowed out, because from what we heard, it was 2 feet of 2 feet of mud. That's how much water came through, which is wild. But we were still able to get around mostly. There was a couple of closed roads and stuff like that. But the people there are amazing. We just had such an amazing time, just chilling by the pool or sitting on the porch there where we were kind of just in view of the water and the sand and the beach and stuff, and then like you can see out to the ocean to the next island and stuff like that. Beautiful. Just experiencing the sunrise and the sunset. The weather was mostly warm. The breeze would make it a little cool when it kind of dimmed down at night. But otherwise, it was pretty warm most of the time. We took the road to Hana one day. We rented a car and took the road to Hana. I didn't get to do that the last time I was there. That road is treacherous, man. It was a lot of twisted and winding roads, cutbacks, and all this kind of stuff. Lots of signs everywhere that say like "Let the locals pass," because the locals, they know the way around, and the tourists like us are kind of driving slow so we can sightsee. Because it was like straight up a Jurassic Park jungle tour ride. Like that's how it was driving through there. It was wild. I drove up. It wasn't too bad on the way up. The road was crazy windy and we got to see some waterfalls. We stopped at this one spot where they filmed the opening scene to Jurassic Park, and it was just magical, man. Just magical. A little roadside restaurant where we had some super fire curry. It was amazing. Getting into Hana, they had a really nice restaurant that we stopped at, had a few drinks, and just checking out the ocean, seeing things. One of their little shops there where I bought some habanero mango hot sauce right there from Hana Hotties, I believe is the company. If you guys get a chance, I don't know if they sell it anywhere. I didn't check, but Hana Hotties. I had it already with my breakfast this morning. Man, that stuff is bussin'. The ride back from Hana was the wild ride because we probably should have turned around and just kept the paved road going back the way we came. But we decided to keep going because the map if you looked at the map, it kind of just kept going. And then you kind of just ended up back to where we wanted to be at anyways. Little did we know, it's like, it's the wilderness out there, man. It was like one side of us was a cliffside and the ocean, and the other side was like a hill and a mountainside. And a lot of the spots, signs would say like yield to oncoming traffic because it would turn into like one way, real narrow. And then it would spread out to two way, but then it would come back like for bridges and other little spots. And we'd have to like honk the horn behind blind turns and stuff. It was a crazy ride, but we made it back late, but we made it back safely. It was in such an adventure. I got some rad pictures that I'll probably post on the Rebel Eye page. So go check that out, rebel.i.media. And we went to see the show, the concert, the thing that we went there for, Tribal Seeds and Revolution. It was so cool. The venue is awesome. It's in a great spot. They have like a huge pavilion style stage. The opening band was a really cool local band. I can't remember their name. They said it, but I couldn't really hear it over the crowd. But they were amazing. The singer was really good, and they were wearing all these like kind of matching like hula shirts and short. It looked cool. They look really, really, really awesome. Tribal Seeds, of course, is amazing. They're one of the bands that really influenced me when I started making reggae music. I remember connecting with their Latino roots and those kind of vibes, like representing and stuff like that when they talk about the Olmec civilization in alliance with Africans and stuff like that. It really kind of made me think more about that. And also seeing some Latinos, you know, be in reggae music, it really build my confidence up knowing like, oh, I can do this then. If those guys are rocking and, popping and rocking, then I can do the same thing, So it was, they were a real big inspiration to me when I started my reggae music journey. Harvest album, specifically the Harvest song. That's one of my favorite Tribal Seed songs. They rarely play it, but it was a magical set. Sakari is awesome. I love that guy, dude. He's got a great voice. He brings an awesome vibe. He's a perfect addition to Tribal Seeds, and the way that they kind of split the vocal duties up so Steve could chill out a little bit sometimes was also cool. I think as a singer myself, they've been rocking and they've been out touring for a long time already. I bet you, the voice is not where it was when he was a young guy, barely starting out in the band and barely getting things cracking. So at these days, it's good that they're sharing that, but it also highlights other members of the band that weren't before. You know what I mean? Shams does come out and do vocals, and he's always done it, but I like it when he comes out and does the stuff in Spanish. It just gives a different flavor. Sakari comes out and sings like the guest vocal parts for some of the features, and he just kills it. He kills it. I love it, dude. And then when they do the song with Gonzo and he does his own thing, it's awesome. It's rad. So anyway, at the end of the day, it was an amazing show. I had a great time. I had to leave about 30 minutes into Revolution so I can catch a red eye flight back home because I had to play drums the next day for a band called Raging Stone from Santa Cruz. We were playing at a place called Discretion Brewing. It was a great time, a good show. We had some fam come out and support, which is really awesome. And I like playing the drums actually. It's a good way to, to get some aggression out, honestly. I was really tired and jet lagged from the plane, but the drumming really put me back into focus and got me rocking and rolling. And the next day, here I am back in the lab doing my thing. You know what I mean? So, one love to everybody. Hey, if you have a chance, go to Maui, support the local people there. Yeah, man. A note on that, like the government is whack. They don't do nothing to help nobody. They don't do nothing to help the people. They didn't help anybody in Maui. $700 is nothing. And what they're doing to the Palisades and all the people affected by the Southern California fires, it's the same thing. The same thing that they're doing with this battery fire that happened here in Moss Landing, and the same stuff that they did when the levees broke in Bajaro. It's 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 disgusting, man. With the level of injustice and oppression we get, from these kind of things when the people really need help. Unfortunately, it's a negative response from the government, and it really sucks. And it is honestly super devastating to be in paradise and see homeless people and see people that are in need. A few of the people that we spoke to were displaced from Lahaina, and they're just trying to make it, man. You know what I mean? And this 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 help that is coming from federal government is BS, dude. Um, at this point, they don't really care. Um, but that's a topic for another conversation. Anyway, thank you so much. Consider liking, subscribing, following, and all those good things so you can support these vibes, this channel, and everything in between. One love, as always, many blessings, and give thanks and praises to the Most High. We'll see you next time.